You've seen it, haven't you? The way they glance over their shoulder, the way their confidence shakes the moment you step forward. They always thought they were untouchable, always thought the truth could stay buried forever. And now, finally, it has surfaced. And you, standing right there in the light of it, see the fear in their eyes. Not a fake, rehearsed fear, but the kind that makes a person shrink inside themselves. The kind that wakes them up at 3 a.m. thinking, how did they find out? It's easy to underestimate the power of knowing. Most people live their lives distracted, pretending nothing matters beyond the surface. But you've seen the patterns. You felt the pulse of what others ignore. And now, you carry the secret that changes everything. The world doesn't like people who carry the truth. They don't want to see it, and they certainly don't want to confront it. But here you are, holding it, alive with it, and that energy is heavier than anything they've faced before. That weight of knowing, it makes them hesitate, it makes them falter, it makes them scared of their next move. Imagine for a moment the faces around you, the people who pretended to be strong, who smiled in your presence, who acted untouchable. And now, all that pretense cracks. They stop mid-step, pause mid-sentence, unsure if they should speak, unsure if they should act. That hesitation, that moment of pure uncertainty, is your power. You don't need to threaten, you don't need to demand, you don't need to yell or prove yourself. Simply standing there, fully aware, fully unshaken, is enough to shake the strongest of walls. Because here's the truth they've been avoiding. Knowledge doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how the world sees you. When someone realizes that you know what they hoped would remain hidden, their world tilts. Every plan they thought was foolproof, every move they believed was invisible, every word they counted on being secret, now it trembles under the weight of your awareness. And the scariest part, they know you're not going to forget it, and they know you're not going to wait. You act differently, you move differently, you speak differently, because now you carry the edge of clarity, the sharpness of insight, the quiet but undeniable force of truth. And you want to feel that energy, don't you? That deep, vibrating charge that comes from understanding something others can't even see. That power is yours. Every time you decide to step forward, every time you decide to confront the hesitation in their eyes with your unwavering presence. And while you do, take a moment and think, how many times have they underestimated you? How many times have they dismissed your observations, your instincts, your quiet knowledge? Now, all of that doubt and dismissal turns against them. They cannot move freely. They cannot act confidently. Because you've seen through it all, and you carry the secret they feared would never be revealed. Now, if you're watching this, I want you to take a moment and do something. Hit that like button, because it's not just a click, it's a declaration. Hit subscribe because staying connected isn't passive. It's active. It's claiming your stake in this journey. And comment below, share your thoughts, your experiences, the moments you've held a truth no one else dared face. Because every time you do, you solidify your own power. You become a part of a growing force of people who refuse to be invisible, who refuse to let fear control them, who refuse to let secrets rule their lives. And that, more than anything, shakes the world around you. The world isn't ready for people who know. They tell themselves lies to feel safe. They convince themselves that silence is protection, that ignorance is security. But when you reveal even a hint of awareness, the cracks begin. They pause before moving. They hesitate before speaking. They weigh every action as if the ground beneath them has suddenly become unsure. And that is where you exist, not in the noise, not in the shouting, not in the chaos, but in the quiet, in the calm, in the knowledge that you are the shift in balance, the disruption in their certainty, the undeniable force that reminds them control was never theirs, not really. And you see, fear is contagious, but so is confidence. When you carry the truth, when you hold the secret they tried to bury, when you step into the room fully aware and fully alive, that fear begins to mirror itself. It becomes part of the air around them. It creeps into their decisions, into their strategies, into their very thoughts. And you don't even need to act. It is enough that you know. The weight of truth in your hands is heavier than any weapon, more effective than any scheme, more powerful than any attempt they make to recover what they lost. Because truth is not something they can fight with force. Truth is something they can only run from, and running is exactly what they're afraid of now. They don't want to admit it, but deep down, they know the rules have changed. Everything they thought was stable is now shaking. Every plan, every alliance, every careful calculation. They feel the ground slipping beneath them because of a single truth you hold. And it's not a truth that can be hidden with words, not a truth that can be brushed aside with excuses. It exists quietly, steadily, like a shadow that refuses to leave. And they are terrified of it. You see, the danger for them isn't loud, it isn't chaotic, it is calm, deliberate, measured. It is the kind of danger that doesn't announce itself, that doesn't need to. You don't have to scream. You don't have to prove anything. Your very awareness, your very presence is enough to unravel them. This is the power of knowledge, and it is intoxicating. There's no thrill like knowing something others fear, something they cannot undo or unlearn. And with that knowledge comes clarity. You start seeing patterns in ways they never could, understanding motives they never dared to articulate, predicting movements that once seemed invisible. You start noticing the hesitation in their eyes, the twitch in their voice, the flicker of doubt in what they say. Every gesture, every pause, every glance. They are speaking to you without realizing it, and every time you observe it, every time you register it, you gain more control, not over them directly, but over your own reality. You are untouchable because your mind is awake. And while they falter, while they calculate and misstep, you move with purpose. You move in a way that they cannot anticipate because your steps are guided by awareness, by precision, by insight. The fear you see reflected in their actions is not a weakness of yours. It is a mirror of their own uncertainty. And that reflection, that silent confirmation that they are no longer in charge, is something they can never erase. No act of theirs, no attempt to conceal or distract can remove what you know. It is permanent, it is undeniable, and it is yours. You might be wondering, what do I do with this power? How do I take the secret I carry and turn it into a force that shapes my world rather than just a weight I bear? The answer is deceptively simple. Consistency. Quiet, relentless, unshakable consistency. Do not let them see fear in you. Do not let them detect hesitation. Let your calm, let your focus, let your insight speak louder than anything they try to say or do. Because when a person who fears the truth sees someone unshaken by it, the effect is instantaneous. Their confidence crumbles, their narrative falls apart, and their fear grows, growing louder than any noise, stronger than any attempt at disguise. And here's the part most people never mention. They're afraid of what you might do next, not in a violent way, not in a dramatic way, but in the subtle, terrifying way that comes when someone understands a truth they cannot escape. Every decision you make now carries weight. Every move you take resonates because you are no longer invisible. You are no longer passive. You are no longer just another face in the crowd. And that realization alone terrifies them more than any confrontation ever could. The key is patience. Patience to wait, patience to observe, patience to act only when the moment aligns with the insight you carry. You don't need to rush. They are trapped by their own fear. Their hesitation is your advantage. Every pause they take, every thought they second guess, every glance they fear will reveal their uncertainty. It all works for you. You simply need to remain aware, to remain ready, and to remain unshaken. Because once you act, once you let the world feel the weight of your awareness, there will be no turning back. And in that moment, they will realize what you have always known. Knowledge is not just power, it is freedom. Freedom from being controlled, freedom from being manipulated, freedom from the invisible chains they thought could bind you. And it is frightening for them because they never wanted to face it. They never wanted anyone to hold the mirror to their truth. They never wanted someone else to see what they thought was hidden. And now, there it is, undeniable, visible, unstoppable, in your hands. The beauty of this is that it is quiet but irreversible. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it to the world. The fear they carry is the proof. Their hesitation is the confirmation. And their silence, the silent, trembling silence, is your victory. They are scared, not because you are loud, but because you are fully present, fully aware, fully alive in a world where they no longer understand the rules. They thought they were untouchable. They thought that silence could shield them, that deception could protect them, that time could erase what you now hold. But time has no power over truth, and silence cannot contain it. Every hidden plan, every carefully masked motive, every lie they whispered in the shadows has now been illuminated by your awareness. And you know it. You see it. You feel it. The realization that you are the one holding this unseen power. It courses through your veins like fire, steady, relentless, unstoppable. And they feel it too, even when they pretend not to. There is a certain elegance in watching them falter, a quiet, undeniable poetry in seeing someone lose control, not because you strike, but because you exist fully in your own clarity. You do not need to manipulate. You do not need to threaten. Your power lies in your understanding, your presence, your refusal to bend to fear. They stumble in their own hesitation because for the first time, they are faced with a force they cannot anticipate, a presence they cannot shake, a mind that knows far more than they could ever imagine. And that fear, that uncertainty, spreads within them like cold water, seeping into every corner, chilling every thought, weakening every step. Do not confuse this moment with arrogance. Do not mistake this knowledge for pride. It is not about belittling them or proving them wrong. It is about recognizing the weight of awareness and letting it guide you. It is about moving through the world with clarity, moving with intention, moving with an understanding that most people will never achieve because most people are too afraid to truly see. And in that fear, they become predictable. In that hesitation, they become visible. And visibility, my friend, is power. Every glance they cast in your direction, every word they pause to measure, every silence they fear will reveal their insecurity. That is all your influence at work. You do not need to interfere. You do not need to confront. You simply need to remain. Remain grounded. Remain aware. Remain patient. Let them act. Let them make mistakes. Let them reveal themselves through the cracks of their own fear. And when they do, you will be ready. Not reactive, not impulsive, but fully in control, fully in alignment with the knowledge that you hold. You might wonder, how do I maintain this power without losing myself in it? The answer is deceptively simple, but often overlooked. Discipline. Discipline to hold your awareness without letting it harden into bitterness. Discipline to act with precision without letting impatience rush you. Discipline to move with quiet force without seeking the validation of their acknowledgement. Because the most dangerous person to anyone who fears the truth is someone who is calm, deliberate, and unwavering. They cannot shake you because there is nothing to shake. They cannot provoke you because there is nothing to provoke. And in this balance, in this control, lies the true advantage. Every time they hesitate, every time they second guess, every time the fear creeps into their voice or their expression, it is a reminder to you, you are no longer invisible. You are no longer bound by their limitations. You are no longer trapped by the rules they try to enforce. And that freedom, that awareness, that quiet, unstoppable presence, that is the true revelation. It is a secret they cannot reclaim, a truth they cannot undo, a force they cannot diminish. And now imagine the next level. Your actions, small and deliberate, echo through their fear. You do not need to make grand gestures. A look, a pause, a simple step forward. It is enough to create doubt, enough to make them question every assumption, enough to remind them that the world has shifted. They are trapped by their own uncertainty, caught in the gravity of a truth they cannot ignore. And you, calm, collected, aware, are the axis around which their imbalance revolves. It is in this space between their fear and your clarity that you realize the depth of your power. They fear what you know, yes, but they fear even more what you might do with it. Not in a destructive way, not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle, profound way. The way someone acts when they have insight and patience, the way someone moves when they understand consequences before they appear, the way someone steps into a moment fully aware of its weight, that is terrifying to anyone who has tried to hide from reality. And here's the lesson. Power is not about confrontation. Power is about presence. Power is about understanding. Power is about being so fully aligned with truth and awareness that no attempt to manipulate, intimidate, or distract can succeed. You do not need to argue. You do not need to prove anything. Your very existence in that space, your very clarity of mind, your very alignment with what is real, that is enough. That is the force that shakes them, the invisible weight that bends their confidence, the quiet authority that makes them stop and reconsider every move they make. Every day, every moment, they are calculating, constantly, silently, nervously. And every calculation, every thought, every hesitation is a testament to the secret you hold. They can no longer move with confidence because the world you see is not the world they control. You carry the unseen weight of awareness, and that weight is heavier than any facade they ever wore. It presses against them not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It is the kind of pressure they cannot fight, cannot run from, cannot escape. And you remain untouched by it, calm, steady, unshaken, because you understand that true power is not loud. True power does not demand attention. True power simply exists, and the world bends around it, whether it likes it or not. Think about the way they speak now, the subtle cracks in their sentences, the pauses that betray their uncertainty. Every gesture is measured, every expression is calculated, every word is weighed and reconsidered because they know, even if they cannot admit it, that someone in their presence has the truth they cannot hide from. And that knowledge, that quiet, unstoppable certainty, creates ripples. They do not realize that each hesitation, each doubt, each silent fear they carry is an acknowledgement of your influence. They do not realize that their trembling confidence, their faltering steps, is proof that you are already ahead, that you already see what they cannot, that you are already the force they cannot control. It is a strange and intoxicating reality, the knowledge that you are alive with clarity in a world designed to blind the unaware. And the best part? They cannot accuse you of anything. You have done nothing. You have simply been awake, simply seen the patterns, simply understood the truth. And in that very act, they are undone. They cannot recover from what you carry, and that is their terror. They are trapped not by chains, not by conflict, but by the quiet brilliance of your awareness. And awareness, once earned, is never lost. Let me remind you, this is not about arrogance. This is not about superiority. This is about survival. This is about thriving. This is about moving through the world with eyes wide open when most are still asleep. It is about holding space for truth when others insist on illusion. It is about understanding, deep in your core, that knowledge is not something to wield recklessly. It is something to inhabit, to carry, to become one with. And when you do, when you live in that truth, the world cannot ignore you. And now, I want you to feel this. There is a fear you can almost taste, a fear that radiates from those around you, a fear that whispers in their glances, lingers in their pauses, hangs in the space between their words. That fear is yours, not to crush, not to mock, not to dominate, but to observe, to understand, and to let guide your actions. They are afraid not because you have acted, but because you are fully alive in a way they cannot comprehend. And that fear, silent, creeping, undeniable, is proof of your own strength. It is proof that knowledge, patience, awareness, and presence are far more potent than anything else they thought could control them. And here is where you rise even further. The true power of the secret you hold is not in exposing them immediately, not in forcing their reactions, not in proving them wrong. It is in endurance, in remaining constant, in holding that knowledge, that clarity, that insight, like a silent storm waiting on the horizon. They do not know when it will strike, or if it will strike. All they know is that it exists. All they know is that it cannot be undone. And all they know is that it changes everything. That uncertainty, that gnawing fear is where you thrive. That uncertainty is your kingdom. And you are the ruler of it, not by force, not by aggression, but simply by existing fully awake in a world too blind to see. And for a moment, imagine their world collapsing under the weight of their own hesitation. Every interaction, every decision, every move they take is shadowed by the knowledge that someone knows what they thought was hidden. And while they tremble, while they doubt, while they recalculate endlessly, you move forward, step by step, silently, deliberately, confidently. They cannot stop you. They cannot outmaneuver you. They cannot anticipate the rhythm of someone who has seen the patterns, who has understood the truth, who has embraced clarity and made it part of their very being. And that, more than anything, is the terrifying part for them. And yet, despite all this, there is mercy and patience. There is mastery and restraint. You do not need to crush them. You do not need to expose them. You do not need to dominate. You simply need to continue. Continue being aware. Continue being present. Continue being unshaken. Let their fear do the work. Let their hesitation speak for you. Let the quiet power of your understanding ripple through their world, invisible but undeniable. And every day you move like this. Every day you remain calm and deliberate. Every day you honor the truth you carry. They lose a little more control. They falter a little more. They bend a little more under the gravity of what you know. And now, understand this. The fear they feel is not about what you can take, not about what you can expose, not about what you can destroy. Their fear is about possibility. It is the fear that their world, the carefully constructed, perfectly masked, perfectly rehearsed world, can no longer dictate the rhythm of life around them. They are afraid of what you know, yes, but even more, they are afraid of what that knowledge allows you to become. Because when someone steps fully into the truth they carry, when someone moves through the world guided by awareness rather than illusion, they become unstoppable. They become unshakable. And the realization that you are that person is a quiet terror that they cannot escape. Think of it like this. Every glance, every word, every movement they make is now under the weight of scrutiny. Not just yours, but the scrutiny of reality itself. They cannot hide from the truth because truth lives in the moment, in the choices they make, in the hesitation they betray. And the more they hesitate, the more visible they become. And visibility, my friend, is not something they can control. It is not something they can erase. The moment you step into full awareness, you are no longer just another person in the room. You are the axis upon which their uncertainty spins, and the world adjusts quietly, deliberately, to your presence. Do not underestimate the subtlety of this power. You do not need to confront. You do not need to challenge. You do not need to declare anything to anyone. Your power is in restraint, in patience, in the silent consistency of awareness. You have seen what they have hidden. You have understood what they have tried to conceal. You have embraced what they hoped would remain invisible forever. And in doing so, you are beyond their reach. Their fear grows not because you act against them. It grows because you exist fully, calmly, and clearly in the light of the truth. And here's the critical lesson. The world bends quietly, not dramatically, around someone who knows what others cannot. Their hesitation becomes your advantage. Their uncertainty becomes your map. Every small pause they make, every question they second guess, every word they weigh, it is all information. It is all insight. It is all proof that they are no longer in control. And you, walking forward with the calm inevitability of someone who understands far more than they ever imagined, are in command, not through force, not through intimidation, but through presence. Let that sink in for a moment. The most terrifying thing to someone who fears exposure is not confrontation. It is patience. It is consistency. It is the quiet, relentless understanding that someone knows. And that knowledge, held with clarity and restraint, becomes a force that no amount of pretense can overcome. They cannot escape it. They cannot hide from it. They cannot even fully understand it. All they can do is falter, hesitate, and watch as their carefully constructed world begins to shift around the weight of your awareness. And that is where true mastery begins. True mastery is not about taking action against those who falter. True mastery is about cultivating a mind so disciplined, so aware, so fully aligned with the truth that every movement you make resonates with inevitability. You do not need to strike. You do not need to expose. You do not need to prove. Simply being, simply moving, simply acting with the quiet force of someone who knows it is enough to bend the world around you. And in that bending, they reveal themselves, not because you forced them, not because you demanded, but because the gravity of truth is too strong to resist. And now, let me speak directly to you, because this is where it becomes personal. Every moment you hesitate to claim your awareness, every moment you doubt your insight, every moment you fear the power you carry, it diminishes your own influence. Do not give yourself to fear. Do not give yourself to hesitation. Do not give yourself to the illusions that others try to project. Step fully into the truth you hold. Walk forward with it. Breathe it in. Let it shape your choices, guide your steps, and define your presence. Because the moment you do, everything around you shifts. They do not need to confront you. They do not need to act. Their fear speaks for them. Their hesitation shapes itself around you. Their uncertainty becomes your landscape, and your awareness becomes the path through it. And here is the final, undeniable truth. Those who fear what you know cannot control you, cannot limit you, cannot stop you. The secret, once revealed to your own mind, becomes a source of unstoppable strength. It does not just illuminate what is hidden. It transforms it into a force that moves with you, works with you, lives inside you, and guides your every step. You are no longer constrained by their illusions, no longer trapped by their manipulations, no longer weighed down by their secrecy. The game of manipulation. They thought they had you, didn't they? Like a puppet on strings, dancing to their twisted tune. They relished in their ability to twist your mind, to toy with your emotions, to make you question your worth. They thought they had all the power, that you were too weak, too naive, too vulnerable to ever escape their grasp. But here you stand, unbroken, unbowed, and no longer their pawn. They believed they could shape you, mold you, break you, and then rebuild you into someone who served their purpose. They thought you'd always be there, following the script they wrote for you, living the life they designed for you, never questioning, never rebelling, just blindly following, like a drone, like an object meant to be controlled. But what they didn't see, what they failed to realize in their arrogance, was that there is a fire within you, a strength they couldn't see, couldn't understand. A strength that over time began to grow until it became something they could no longer control. You were never as fragile as they thought. You were never as weak as they believed. They underestimated the depth of your resilience, the strength of your spirit. They thought they could keep you in a cage of their creation, but the door to that cage was never truly locked. You were always free, always capable of breaking out of their lies and manipulation. They thought you were their possession, but in reality, you were simply playing a part, biding your time until the moment came for you to break free. The manipulation they used against you, the lies they told, the tricks they played, it all had a purpose for them. It was never about you. It was about their own need for control, their need to feel powerful, to feel important. They made you feel small, insignificant, unworthy, just to inflate their own sense of superiority. They tore you down piece by piece, convincing you that you weren't enough, that you were broken beyond repair. And for a while, you believed it. You questioned your own value. You doubted your own strength. You let their words, their actions, seep into your soul. But something happened, didn't it? Somewhere deep inside, a realization dawned. You began to see through their lies. You started to understand the manipulation for what it was. A desperate attempt to keep you under control. They didn't have power over you. They never did. You were always the one with the power. They tried to break you, but instead, they made you stronger. With every word they spoke, with every action they took to undermine you, they were forging a new version of you, a version that was stronger, wiser, and ready to stand tall. You learned, over time, how to recognize their tactics. You learned how to see through their false promises, their empty words. You became immune to their gaslighting, their guilt trips, their emotional manipulation. You began to see that the only power they had over you was the power you gave them. You were not weak, you were simply unaware. You were not fragile, you were just trusting. And once you opened your eyes, once you recognized the game they were playing, everything changed. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't twist your mind. They can't control your emotions. They can't make you feel small. They are powerless now. And now, as you stand in the aftermath of their manipulation, they feel defeated. They feel the sting of their own failure. They see that their tactics no longer work, that their words have lost their power. They thought they could break you, but they failed. They thought they could control you, but they were wrong. Now, they see you standing tall, unyielding, and it's a bitter pill to swallow. They can't stand the sight of your strength, the sight of your independence. It's not just a defeat for them, it's a humiliation. They thought they had you in their grip, that you would never escape their control. But now, they are the ones left with nothing. The puppet master has become the puppet, and it is a sight they never expected to see. They believed they could keep you down, that they could bury you beneath the weight of their manipulation. They thought you would remain lost in their web of lies, forever bound to them, forever dependent on them. But instead, you found the truth. You saw the threads of control they had woven, and you pulled at them, one by one, until the whole web unraveled before their eyes. And in that moment, they lost everything. Their control, their influence, their power. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is their defeat. They thought they knew you, thought they understood your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. They thought they could exploit your fears, your insecurities. They thought they could use your love, your loyalty, your trust against you. But in doing so, they only revealed their own weakness. They showed their desperation, their need for control. And in trying to control you, they lost their own sense of self. They became so focused on breaking you that they forgot to protect themselves. And now, they stand broken, defeated by their own hand. The truth is, they never had control over you. They never had power over you. The only thing they had was their ability to make you doubt yourself. The only thing they had was the ability to make you question your worth. But now, you know better. Now, you see the truth, and that truth has set you free. They can't manipulate you anymore, and now they feel the weight of their own failure. Now, they feel the sting of defeat, the ache of knowing they've lost the one person they could never truly control. You. It wasn't easy. You had to fight. You had to endure. You had to face the lies, the betrayal, the deceit. You had to dig deep within yourself to find the strength to break free, but you did it. And now, as they watch you stand strong, as they watch you reclaim your power, they are left to grapple with their own defeat. They can't manipulate you anymore, and it's a bitter truth they can't escape. So stand tall, stand proud. Know that you are no longer their puppet, no longer their victim. You are free, and that freedom is your victory. You've broken their hold, shattered their illusions, and now you are the one in control. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is their defeat, not yours. They thought they had you, but they never did. And now, they are left to face the consequences of their own actions, while you walk away, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. The game is over, and you are the one who emerged victorious. They can't manipulate you anymore, and that is all the power you need. You are no longer their victim. You are no longer their pawn. You are free. You are strong. You are victorious. They can't manipulate you anymore. And that is their defeat. They underestimated you. All along, they believed that you were nothing more than a puzzle they could easily solve, a story they could rewrite at will. But what they failed to realize is that your story was never theirs to manipulate. They may have tried to mold you into their version of what you should be, but in reality, they were shaping the very thing that would eventually undo them. The more they pushed, the more they tested your limits, the more they drew out the power that lay dormant within you. For a time, it felt like you were lost in their fog. They wove lies like threads in a tapestry, creating an illusion that you were forever entangled, that your every thought and action was under their control. They used your trust as a weapon, your love as a tool to manipulate and shape your decisions. They made you believe that without them, you were nothing, that you needed them to define who you were, to give you direction in your life. But there was always something within you, a flicker of resistance that refused to go out. Even in your weakest moments, when you felt the pull of their influence and doubted your own worth, something inside you whispered that you were more than what they made you believe. Deep down, you knew that this wasn't the life you were meant for. You weren't meant to be their puppet, tied to their strings. You were meant for something greater, something beyond their twisted little game. What they failed to grasp was that while they were busy controlling your movements, you were learning. You were watching. You were absorbing. And with each passing day, the mask they wore began to crack. The cracks grew wider until there was no pretending anymore, no hiding behind the walls they built to contain you. They could no longer fool you with their lies, their empty promises. You began to see them for what they really were. Small, insecure people, hiding behind a facade of control, desperately trying to cling to the power they thought they had over you. As the manipulation continued, something beautiful happened. You started to realize that the more they pushed you, the more they tried to break you down, the more you were becoming the person they feared. You were becoming the person they could no longer control. They thought they were the masters of the game, but in reality, they were just pawns in a larger scheme. And you were the chess player. They didn't realize that their attempts to break you down were actually making you stronger. Every time they tried to tear at your confidence, every time they undermined your self-worth, you grew more resilient. The cracks in their control revealed the cracks in their own psyche. The more they sought to manipulate you, the more they exposed their own weaknesses, their own fears, their own lack of self-understanding. And in doing so, they became the ones trapped in their own web of deceit. You weren't just breaking free from their grasp, you were shattering the very foundation of their manipulation. You were taking back everything they tried to steal from you: your power, your identity, your voice. You were remembering who you were, who you always had been, before they ever had the chance to twist you. You were finding your own truth, your own path, and in doing so, you were leaving them behind, stranded in their own web of lies. There's something profoundly liberating about the moment you realize that you are no longer at the mercy of someone else's control. You stop questioning yourself. You stop doubting your instincts. You stop believing the false narrative they created for you. And when that moment comes, it's like a light being switched on. Suddenly, the world looks different. The weight that was once on your shoulders lifts, and you see things clearly for the first time in so long. They are the ones in the dark now, stumbling, grasping for control they no longer have. In their desperation, they may try one last time to reel you back in. They may use guilt. They may try to appeal to your compassion, your sense of loyalty, your desire to see the best in others. They might tell you they're sorry, that they were just trying to help, that they never meant to hurt you. But you know better now. You see through their manipulations, their empty words. You know that their apologies are nothing more than a last-ditch effort to regain the control they lost. And you know that you don't need them anymore. The truth is, they never really had control over you. It was an illusion they created to keep you dependent, to keep you small. They needed you to believe they had the power, that you were incapable of standing on your own. But the real power was always within you. It always had been. They just made you forget it for a while, but no more. Now that you've seen through their game, there's no going back. You can't unsee the truth. You can't pretend that the manipulation never happened, but you also know that the manipulation has no power over you anymore. You've learned the game, and now you play it by your own rules. They may still try to reach out, to pull you back into their orbit, to reignite the flames of control. But you know better now. You've seen the price of their manipulation, and you refuse to pay it any longer. You refuse to give them your energy, your time, your trust. The more they push, the more they try to drag you back, the clearer it becomes that they are the ones who are lost. As you walk away from them, you understand that their defeat is not just in the loss of your control, but in the loss of something much deeper. They are defeated because they are still bound by their own need to manipulate, their own insecurities, their own fear of being powerless. You've taken your power back, and in doing so, you've exposed the truth about them. They thought they could control you, but in the end, they couldn't even control themselves. Now, they stand in the ruins of their own manipulation, wondering where they went wrong. The walls they built around themselves to keep you in check are crumbling, and they have no idea how to rebuild them. They thought they could break you, but instead, they've broken themselves. You are the one walking away, free, stronger, wiser, more powerful than you've ever been. And they are left to pick up the pieces of their own shattered illusions. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't control you. They can't break you. The game is over. And you are the one who won. They once believed they could break you down. Every attack, every comment, every whispered lie, they crafted it carefully to make you doubt yourself, to make you believe that their version of reality was the only one that mattered. They were skilled at what they did. They knew how to make you question everything. Your worth, your abilities, your place in the world. They made you feel like an outsider, like you didn't belong, like you were always on the verge of losing everything if you didn't follow their rules, their script. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, something inside you began to shift. A small, imperceptible change at first, but it grew and grew, until one day, you realized you no longer feared their control. In their mind, you were their creation, a blank canvas they could paint however they wanted. They could manipulate your thoughts, your choices, your relationships, until you were a shadow of who you were meant to be. They believed that as long as they had the right leverage over you, they could bend you to their will. They knew what you wanted. They knew what you feared. They knew how to play your weaknesses like an instrument, to keep you just close enough to their grasp, always needing more, always hoping for something that would never come. But what they never accounted for was your inner strength, the unspoken power that you carried. No matter how deep they dug, no matter how many lies they fed you, there was always something that would rise within you, an undeniable force, a reminder that you were not meant to be broken. You were not meant to bend to their twisted designs. As the manipulation progressed, something remarkable happened. The lies they told started to crumble under the weight of your self-awareness. Every false promise they made, every time they tried to convince you that they were your only source of safety, it all began to lose its shine. The fear they had used to control you began to fade, replaced by clarity, by the understanding that you had more within you than they had ever acknowledged. You had been holding back for so long, listening to their voices, their commands, their demands. But now the silence between their words became a space where your own voice began to emerge. At first, you resisted the temptation to listen to that voice. It was quiet, almost like a whisper, as if it had been buried deep within you for years. You had to listen carefully to hear it, but over time, as the manipulation became clearer and clearer, that voice grew louder, more insistent, more confident. You knew it wasn't the voice of defiance for the sake of rebellion. It was the voice of truth, the voice that reminded you of who you were before they ever came into your life, before they tried to twist your every thought, before they made you feel that you weren't worthy of anything more than the little crumbs they threw your way. They thought they could break you, but they didn't understand that they were only forging your strength. With every manipulation, every lie, every twisted tactic they used to keep you under their thumb, they were making you stronger. They thought they were breaking you down, but in reality, they were building a foundation of resilience within you. Each time they tried to control your emotions, each time they tried to convince you that you were nothing without them, it made you realize that you could stand alone. You didn't need them. You never did. They didn't know the power of standing alone. They didn't understand that strength didn't come from being surrounded by others who told you what to do. Real strength came from the ability to trust yourself, to make decisions that aligned with your values, and to reject the voices that tried to drag you down. The moment you realized that you were capable of standing on your own, everything changed. The chains they had placed on you were suddenly visible for what they were: thin threads, easily severed by your newfound strength. The manipulation, which once seemed so insurmountable, now seemed like a series of feeble attempts to regain control over you. It was almost laughable. They tried to play the same games, the same tactics that had worked in the past. But this time, they were met with resistance. This time, they were faced with someone who had learned their tricks, someone who had broken free from their hold and was no longer afraid. You no longer feared their rejection. You no longer feared their disapproval. You no longer feared their threats or their guilt trips. The power they once had over you was now gone. You had become immune to their manipulation. They couldn't control you anymore, and in that realization, they began to feel the tremors of their defeat. Their tactics were as old as time itself. They played on your emotions, on your fears, on your desires. They made you feel guilty for things you hadn't done, ashamed of things you had no reason to be ashamed of. They used love as a weapon, twisting it, warping it, making you believe that the only way to be loved was to submit to their will. They made you believe that love and loyalty meant sacrificing yourself, that your identity didn't matter as long as you were giving them what they wanted. But all along, you were giving away pieces of yourself without realizing it, pieces that, once gone, seemed irreplaceable. What they didn't realize, though, is that love isn't about submission. It isn't about control. Real love is about freedom, about respect, about mutual understanding and care. They didn't love you. They loved what they could control, what they could manipulate, what they could own. And the moment you realized that, the moment you understood the difference between real love and the twisted version they had shown you, was the moment you truly began to reclaim your power. The more they tried to manipulate you, the more they exposed their own insecurities. They were never as powerful as they thought they were. They needed you to believe they were strong, that they had the upper hand. But the truth was that their power was always an illusion. They were only strong when you believed you were weak. They were only powerful when you allowed them to be, but no more. Now, their words hold no weight. Their actions are hollow. They can scream, they can shout, they can throw their tantrums, but it no longer matters. They've lost. They thought they could keep you in the shadows. They thought they could make you feel like you didn't belong in the light. But now, you are walking toward that light, step by step, with confidence, with clarity, with power. And they, the manipulators, the controllers, the abusers, are left in the dark, clutching at the remnants of their failed influence. As you walk away from them, you realize that the battle wasn't just about breaking free from their manipulation. It was about discovering who you really were underneath all their lies, all their control. It was about finding your true self, reclaiming your voice, and learning how to live for yourself and no one else. The more you walk toward your own truth, the more you shed the skin of the person they tried to make you, until you stand tall in your authenticity. They can no longer manipulate you because they no longer know who you are. The person you were when they first tried to control you no longer exists. You are something new, something stronger, something they could never have anticipated. You are no longer a puppet. You are the one pulling the strings. They are defeated, not just because they lost control over you, but because they have lost the one thing that could have saved them, themselves. They are trapped in their own lies, in their own games, and as they struggle to regain the power they once held, you have already moved on, leaving them behind in the dust of their own failure. They thought they had you, but they never truly did. The manipulation is over. You've broken free, you've reclaimed your power, and in doing so, you've become stronger than ever before. They thought they could control you, but in the end, they were their own undoing. And you are the one who walks away victorious. They thought silence meant weakness. They thought calm meant surrender. They mistook patience for fear. They mistook your focus for confusion. You stayed quiet while they watched. You stayed steady while they doubted. You stayed building while they were guessing. And now something has shifted. The air feels different. The energy is heavier. Not because of noise, but because of certainty. You are no longer reacting. You are no longer chasing approval. You are no longer explaining yourself. That is the moment their comfort cracks. That is the moment control slips from their hands. Because the strongest move you ever made was growing without announcing it. Their game depended on your attention. Their power depended on your doubt. And now both are gone. Before this goes deeper, pause for a second. If this message hits your chest, if it feels like it is speaking directly to you, then show your support. Tap, like, so this message reaches someone who needs it. Subscribe if you want strength that sharpens you, not noise that drains you. And comment your moment. Comment the word focused or rising or unshaken. Because when you commit publicly, you lock something inside yourself. You remind yourself that this is real and you are not turning back. They are starting to feel it now, not through words, but through absence. You stopped explaining. You stopped defending. You stopped proving. That silence is loud to people who relied on your reactions. When you no longer respond, the mirror turns toward them. Confusion creeps in. Questions start looping. Why are you not bothered? Why are you not reacting? Why are you suddenly ahead? They thought the rules were fixed. They thought you would always play the same role. But growth rewrites rules without asking permission. You see, their game only worked when you were emotionally available to it, when you questioned yourself, when you hesitated, when you looked for validation. But something inside you hardened into clarity. Not anger, not bitterness, clarity. You realize you do not need to win arguments to win life. You do not need to expose anyone to rise above them. You simply need to outgrow the environment that kept you small. That realization is dangerous to people who stay the same. They expected you to break. They expected you to complain. They expected you to slow down. Instead, you went quiet and got precise. You moved with intention. You started choosing discipline over comfort, focus over drama, vision over opinion. And now every move you make feels heavier because it is backed by consistency. That is why they spiral. Not because you attack them, but because you no longer need them. Understand this deeply. People who lose control over you will always try to regain it through doubt, through subtle pressure, through reminders of your past. But you are no longer the version they remember. You are not fueled by impulse anymore. You are fueled by direction. When you stop reacting emotionally, people lose their leverage. When you stop seeking approval, people lose their grip. That is the end of the game. You did not change overnight. This was built in quiet mornings and late nights, in moments where quitting felt easier, in days where no one clapped. You kept showing up. You kept refining. You kept choosing growth even when it felt lonely. That loneliness became strength. That repetition became confidence. That discipline became identity. And identity cannot be shaken by opinion. They feel threatened not because you are loud, but because you are consistent. Consistency exposes excuses. Your progress highlights their stagnation. And instead of looking inward, they look at you, wondering how you escaped the cycle they accepted. That discomfort is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to keep going. You are no longer available for manipulation. You are no longer distracted by small wins or small losses. You see the long path now. You move differently. You speak less. You observe more. And observation is power. Because when you understand patterns, you stop being surprised by behavior. Nothing shocks you anymore. And when nothing shocks you, nothing controls you. Their game required you to stay predictable, to stay emotional, to stay reactive. But you broke the pattern. You became disciplined. You became intentional. You became self-led. That shift is permanent. Once you see life through this lens, you cannot unsee it. Once you realize your value is not negotiable, you stop negotiating. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to become everything you know you can be. And that journey does not require permission. It does not require applause. It does not require agreement. It only requires commitment. The kind of commitment that shows up even when motivation fades. They will talk. They will wonder. They will assume. Let them. While they analyze, you are building. While they question, you are executing. While they replay the past, you are designing the future. That gap keeps widening, and distance is created not by speed, but by direction. This is not about revenge. This is about alignment. When your actions match your purpose, peace follows. And peace is unsettling to people who thrive on chaos. Your calm becomes intimidating. Your focus becomes undeniable. Your silence becomes final. Remember this: you do not need to announce victory. Growth announces itself. Progress speaks without sound. Results explain everything. And when the results arrive, no explanation is required. They feel it slipping. The influence, the impact, the illusion of control. Because you stepped into your own authority. And once you do that, the old dynamics collapse, the old roles dissolve, the old expectations die quietly. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming clear. You are not distancing out of fear. You are distancing out of self-respect. That distinction matters, and it changes everything. Keep moving, keep refining, keep choosing the hard path when it aligns with your future. This version of you does not need validation. This version of you is already on schedule. Their game is actually over. Not because you defeated them, but because you stopped playing. Their game is actually over. Not because you made noise, not because you shouted louder, not because you sought to prove anything, but because you refused to be a part of it anymore. You stepped out of the shadows of manipulation, out of the currents that tried to drag you sideways, and you moved forward. Every decision you make now carries weight. Every action you take now echoes clarity, and that echo is deafening to anyone who depended on your distraction to feel powerful. They watch, they calculate, they hope, but it's too late. The pattern they relied on has ended. You've learned that energy is currency, and you've stopped spending it on chaos. You've learned that attention is power, and you've stopped giving it to those who only profit from your reaction. That is your real victory, the quiet, unseen victory that cannot be stolen, borrowed, or diminished. It is yours because it comes from within, and that inner victory cannot be undermined by gossip, doubt, or outside noise. Once you own that, the outside world loses leverage. Once you own that, their game ends quietly, but permanently. Every step you take now is strategic, intentional, and unavoidable. You do not rush. You do not panic. You do not bend. Your progress has rhythm. Your growth has direction. And that rhythm irritates them more than words ever could. They expected chaos, distraction, and emotional reaction, but instead they face precision, calm, and undeniable momentum. The power you hold is silent, but the effect is catastrophic to those who rely on your disruption. Do not let their confusion become your concern. Do not let their attempts to pull you back into old cycles disturb your focus. They may try subtle reminders of old patterns. They may appeal to habits you left behind. They may hope you will falter or react, but you will not. You know now that control comes from self-mastery, not confrontation. You know that clarity is your weapon, not argument. You know that your peace cannot be negotiated. You have become unstoppable because you stopped feeding the very systems that tried to weaken you. You stopped reacting emotionally to their manipulation. You stopped validating the illusion of their authority over your life. And in that silence, in that stillness, you built something no one can touch. You built resilience, you built focus, you built a future so aligned with your purpose that no external energy can shift it. Watch them try to regain what they lost. Watch them spin in circles, trying to make sense of a person who no longer exists in their rules. It is not your responsibility to guide them, explain to them, or apologize to them. Their spiral is their own. Your job is forward motion, not their comprehension. You do not stop for anyone who cannot understand growth. You do not slow for anyone who cannot match discipline. You do not argue with anyone who thrives on distraction. This is the ultimate form of power, the kind that does not need recognition, the kind that does not seek applause, the kind that grows quietly and relentlessly until the results are undeniable. They do not see it coming because they were never looking inward. They were never thinking beyond control. They were never building beyond influence, and that is why you rise, and that is why their game ends. You are becoming more than their expectations. You are becoming more than their judgment. You are becoming more than their assumptions. Every day that passes with your focus intact is a day their world loses footing. Every day you choose progress over reaction is a day their influence evaporates. Every choice to act with integrity and direction is a declaration Your time, your energy, your growth are no longer negotiable. Remember, patience is power, silence is power, discipline is power. You have all three, and with them, the world no longer controls the narrative. You do. The old systems, the old games, the old manipulations, they collapse quietly in the background. The chaos they thrived on dies because you refuse to participate. And that quiet death of expectation is your loudest statement. Keep building, keep moving, keep growing. Let them spin, let them speculate, let them wonder. Their confusion is your confirmation. Their panic is your proof. Their doubts are irrelevant. What matters is that you continue with unwavering focus toward the life you are designing. Every choice, every action, every moment of restraint compounds into a force they cannot touch. The game is over because you stepped out of it, because you mastered yourself, because you refuse to allow chaos to dictate your steps. They are spiraling not because of attack, not because of confrontation, not because of noise, but because of your alignment, your discipline, and your calm. And once they realize it, there is no returning to control because you have never been under it. Your victory is not loud. It is not flashy. It does not need explanation. It exists quietly in your daily actions, your steadfast focus, and your unshakable sense of direction. And that quiet, unstoppable force is what ends the game. That quiet, unstoppable force is you. Every step you take forward is proof that growth cannot be contained. They watched the version of you that reacted, that worried, that sought validation. And now that version is gone, replaced by a presence that moves through life with clarity and unshakable intent. They feel it, not in words, but in the silence that surrounds your victories, in the calm that blankets your decisions, in the inevitability that you will not stop for anything that does not align with your vision. Their confusion grows because control is a game they once played, and now it is no longer available. Do not underestimate the power of quiet focus. It is a force that cannot be argued with, bargained over, or manipulated. The more they attempt to provoke, to unsettle, to regain influence, the more your calm becomes an immovable wall. They do not see that your victories are not built on confrontation, but on consistent discipline. They do not understand that your progress cannot be derailed by external noise, and that is the ultimate truth. They have nothing to hold on to because the part of you that belonged to their game is gone forever. You are becoming unstoppable because you have learned to value your own direction above approval, your own purpose above opinion, and your own growth above distraction. That alone will spiral those who depended on your reactions. They believed your attention was theirs to control. They believed your emotions were theirs to manipulate. They believed your focus would always be compromised by chaos. And now, they watch as you rise calmly, deliberately, relentlessly. That is terrifying to them because it cannot be undone. Every choice you make now strengthens the wall between you and the old cycle. Every habit you perfect, every discipline you reinforce, every focus you sharpen builds the version of yourself they cannot reach. They want you to stumble, to get lost in frustration, to act impulsively. And yet you do not. You are steady. You are deliberate. You are precise. And precision is power. And power that cannot be touched by chaos is invincible. Their game relied on patterns. Patterns you no longer follow. They thrived on predictability. Predictability you no longer provide. And that is why confusion spirals into panic, why doubt grows into fear, why their control evaporates. because you are no longer available for manipulation. You are no longer trapped by expectation. You are no longer a player in their story. You are the author of your own, and every sentence you write moves you further from the chaos they imagined you would remain in. Understand this: your peace is your most intimidating weapon, not your words, not your actions, not your reactions. Peace, it cannot be bargained with, it cannot be threatened, it cannot be stolen. Peace signals mastery, it signals alignment. And once you embody that fully, the people who depended on your reaction cannot find a foothold. They are left spinning in the void of their own expectations. That void is where their spiral begins. They will try to interpret your growth as chance. They will try to justify it as luck. They will attempt to convince themselves that you were helped, favored, or fortunate. But deep down, they know. They know that nothing happened outside of your commitment, your discipline, your refusal to be consumed by distraction. And that realization is what unsettles them most. The understanding that their influence is no longer real, and that you built something entirely self-sustained. Your focus is not temporary. Your growth is not conditional. Your presence is not negotiable. That permanence is the final stage of their spiral. Every attempt to regain what they lost falls short. Every reminder of the past fails to shake you. Every assumption they make about control crumbles because control is no longer a concept that applies to you. You are not reacting. You are not defending. You are creating. And creation is beyond interference. They will continue to search for weaknesses. They will continue to hope for missteps. But strength like yours is forged quietly, patiently, and deliberately. It is not flashy. It is not dramatic. It does not demand attention. And that is why it is invincible. You do not need to announce your victories. You do not need to prove your worth. Results speak for themselves. And by the time they recognize what has happened, it will be irreversible. Every morning, every choice, every moment of commitment compounds. Discipline turns into momentum. Momentum turns into inevitability. And inevitability spirals into fear for those who cannot understand it. You are the storm that arrives silently. You are the power that never boasted. You are the presence that cannot be shaken. And with every passing day, their realization grows. Their game is over. Not because you fought them, but because you outgrew it entirely. You are untouchable now because you are self-led. Your clarity cannot be stolen. Your focus cannot be disrupted. Your energy cannot be diverted. And your vision cannot be obscured. That is what makes your rise unstoppable. That is what ensures that their spiral is permanent. They were playing a game with someone who existed for their control, but now you exist for your own, and that shift is irreversible. They are realizing, slowly but surely, that nothing they do can reach you anymore. They cannot pull you back into arguments, into doubt, into distraction. They cannot manipulate your focus or shift your energy. Every attempt they make only highlights the strength you have built quietly, the discipline you have forged in silence, and the clarity you now own. That is the ultimate power, to exist in alignment while everyone else still tries to chase control. And when they see that, panic rises, spirals, and intensifies. They are losing the game not because you attacked, but because you refused to play. Your growth is not about proving anyone wrong. It is about proving yourself right. About showing yourself that you are capable of more than they could ever imagine. About embodying the truth that your life is not dictated by outside opinion, manipulation, or expectation. That clarity, so simple yet so powerful, destroys their influence more effectively than any confrontation ever could. And the calm, steady confidence that grows from that truth cannot be shaken. They will question everything, every choice you make, every move you take, every success you achieve. They will try to rewrite it as luck, coincidence, or accident. But you know the truth. You know the endless hours, the quiet sacrifices, the patience, the consistency, the focus, and the unwavering refusal to be distracted. And in that knowledge lies your real power. While they spiral in speculation, you rise in certainty. You are no longer reacting to their attempts to pull you down. You are no longer entertaining the distractions of people who thrive on drama. You are no longer bound by the weight of their expectations. And that detachment is what makes your growth unstoppable. Detachment is not weakness. It is clarity. It is freedom. And freedom is the final collapse of the game they once thought they controlled. Every choice to focus, to discipline, to act with intention compounds. You may not see it in a single day, a single moment, or a single action, but the accumulation is unstoppable. Every habit perfected, every small step taken, every moment spent resisting the pull of chaos builds a life so strong, so aligned, so inevitable that no one can interfere. And that inevitability is what makes their spiral permanent. Their frustration, their confusion, their attempts to regain influence, it is all fuel. Fuel that you do not consume. Fuel that powers nothing but their own panic. And while they spin in the void of their lost control, you walk forward in the light of your purpose. That difference between action aligned and action desperate is the chasm that separates you from anyone who once believed they could influence you. Do not doubt yourself. Do not allow fleeting thoughts of past challenges or temporary setbacks to distract you. Growth is not linear. Power is not immediate. But the consistent choice to move forward, to rise above distraction, to refuse reaction, that is unstoppable. That is the force that collapses games quietly and permanently. That is the force that makes their attempts irrelevant. You will find that the more they try to regain control, the stronger you become. Every subtle push, every assumed manipulation, every silent hope they place on your misstep only sharpens your focus. Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. What I am about to tell you is not for the faint of heart, nor is it for those who have yet to taste the bitterness of betrayal. This is for those who have endured the storm, those whose hearts have been shredded, those who have given their all to others, only to be cast aside in the cruelest of ways. It is for those who have been loyal, trustworthy, and devoted, only to find that loyalty repaid with treachery. I want you to hear me now, for this is not a message of pity or sympathy. No, this is a message of power, of awakening, of realizing the dark strength that lies within you when you have been pushed to your absolute breaking point. Despite your loyalty, they betrayed you deliberately. Think about that for a moment. Despite all you've done for them, despite the trust you placed in them, despite the sacrifices you made, they chose to turn their backs on you. They saw your kindness, your devotion, your unwavering belief in their goodness, and they took advantage of it. They used you. They took what you offered, consumed it without a second thought. And when they were done, they discarded you like an object that had outlived its purpose. And now, you stand here, broken, confused, angry, maybe even lost. But I'm here to tell you something you might not want to hear. You have just been given a gift. Yes, I said a gift. They may have taken from you, but what they have done is awakened something far more dangerous than the loyalty you once gave. They have awakened your power. They have forced you to face a side of yourself that has been dormant for far too long. No more playing the victim. No more standing idly by while the world stomps on you. Now is the time to rise. Now is the time to harness the raw, untamed energy inside you. They pushed you to the edge, and what you need to understand is that they made a grave mistake. They did not break you. No, they've only paved the way for the most powerful version of yourself to emerge. Think about the weight of what has happened. You've been loyal. You've given them everything. You've trusted them with your deepest fears, your darkest desires, your vulnerabilities. You've shown them parts of yourself that no one else has ever seen, and yet they still chose to betray you. They've deliberately destroyed the one thing you gave them, the belief that they were worthy of your trust. But the truth, the hard, cold truth, is that they were never worthy. They were never deserving of the loyalty you poured into them. And now, they will never have that power over you again. It's time to let go of the shame, the guilt, the self-doubt. The moment they betrayed you, they showed their true colors, and it wasn't a reflection of your failure. No, it was a reflection of their weakness. They could never stand in the light of your strength, so they had to tear you down to make themselves feel better. But let me make this clear. Your strength was never in their hands to control. It was always yours. And now, it's time to take it back. They thought you were weak because you loved them. They thought that because you cared, you would be too blinded by your emotions to see the truth. They believed that by deceiving you, by taking advantage of your kindness, they could control you. They miscalculated. You are not weak. You were never weak. The fact that you loved, that you trusted, that you were loyal, those are not signs of weakness. They are signs of incredible strength. It takes a warrior to love so fiercely, to trust so fully, to give so completely. But here's the catch. They thought that because you gave so much, they could take from you without consequence. They never expected you to stand up. They never expected you to get angry. They never expected you to rise from the ashes and show them exactly who you are. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to play the game by your own rules. No more bending to their whims. No more second-guessing yourself. No more putting your faith in the hands of those who would crush you without a second thought. This is your time. You are the one with the power. They made a mistake when they thought you would simply sit down and accept their betrayal. Now, they will see exactly what happens when you refuse to be a victim. They will learn that the fire they try to extinguish in you can never be quenched. It is a fire that burns hotter, stronger, and fiercer the more they try to snuff it out. When they betrayed you, they made an enemy of something far more dangerous than themselves. They made an enemy of someone who knows exactly what they are capable of. Someone who has been tested by fire and emerged stronger. Someone who has seen the darkness and used it to fuel their strength. You have walked through the flames and you didn't burn. You've been scorched, yes, but you are not broken. And now you're going to use everything they tried to take from you as fuel to propel yourself into something greater. The truth is, betrayal is the ultimate catalyst for growth. It forces you to face reality head on. It forces you to confront the darkness and understand it. But more than that, it forces you to recognize your own strength. The pain of betrayal is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of something new, something better, something stronger. You may feel the pain right now. You may feel the sting of their betrayal, the weight of their lies, but I promise you, it will pass. And when it does, you will be unstoppable. You will be a force of nature. They will look at you and wonder how they ever thought they could break you. Understand this. Betrayal does not diminish your worth. It does not define you. It does not have the power to shape who you are. What defines you is how you rise from it. What defines you is the strength you summon when they thought you would fall. What defines you is your refusal to be broken by their lies. This is your moment to step into your power. This is your moment to show the world what happens when someone who has been betrayed takes control of their own fate. So no, they did not break you. No, they did not defeat you. What they did was force you to look inside yourself and see the warrior you have always been. And now, you will use that power to take what is rightfully yours. You will use that power to become something greater than you ever imagined. The betrayal, the lies, the hurt, they will fuel your fire, but they will not consume you. You will rise from the ashes stronger than ever, and you will make them regret ever underestimating you. This is the moment when everything changes. This is the moment when you take the reins of your own destiny and show the world that no one, no matter how much they try, can ever break you. You are stronger than they will ever understand. You are a force of nature, and they just awaken the beast within you. So, embrace it. Embrace the pain, the anger, the rage. Use it. Channel it. Let it transform you into the person you were always meant to be. Let it push you to heights they could never reach. Let it fuel your hunger for success, for power, for revenge, for whatever you desire. This is your time. The time to show them that betrayal was the worst mistake they ever made. The time to show them that they never truly had the power they thought they did. And when it's over, when the dust settles, when you stand victorious and unshaken, they will understand. They will understand that you were never the one who was weak. They were. And in the end, it was you who walked away with everything. Remember this. You are not defined by their betrayal. You are defined by how you rise from it. So rise. Rise and show them the power that lies within you. And finally, as you take that first step toward your destiny, remember this truth. They betrayed you deliberately, but you will rise deliberately. What I'm about to say is not for the faint-hearted, nor is it for the people who have lived a sheltered, untested existence. This message is for those who have faced darkness, for those who have given their loyalty, their trust, their entire selves to others, only to be discarded in the most brutal way possible. This is for those who have been betrayed, deceived, and torn apart by the very people they once held dear. You gave them your heart, your soul, your strength, and they betrayed you. Not by accident, but deliberately, with cold intention. But let me be very clear about one thing. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are far stronger than you even realize. And today, you will learn just how powerful you can be when you harness the lessons of betrayal. It's true. Despite all your loyalty, they betrayed you. Despite the sacrifices you made, despite the love you poured into them, despite the unwavering commitment you gave, they chose to betray you. They looked at your vulnerability, your honesty, your kindness, and they saw an opportunity. They took advantage of it. They used you, they manipulated you, and when they had drained you of everything they needed, they discarded you. They didn't care about your feelings. They didn't care about your sacrifices. They didn't care about the trust you placed in them. They threw it all away as though you were just another insignificant part of their selfish little world. They were never worthy of your loyalty. They never deserved your trust. But I want you to look at this betrayal from a different perspective. I want you to understand something that right now you might not want to hear. That betrayal, as painful and unjust as it was, has given you something far greater than you can imagine. That betrayal has given you the gift of awakening. They have awakened the most powerful version of you. They have exposed your weaknesses, yes, but they have also revealed your true strength. You might feel broken, you might feel lost, confused and angry, but deep down, beneath the layers of hurt and disappointment, there is a force inside you that has been waiting for the right moment to break free. And that moment is now. You see, loyalty is a strength. Loyalty is one of the rarest and most valuable qualities a person can have. When you give your loyalty to someone, you are giving them your trust, your time, your energy, and your unwavering support. You are saying, I believe in you. Loyalty is sacred, but when someone betrays that loyalty, they are not only rejecting you, they are rejecting the very foundation of what makes you strong. But here's the catch. That betrayal does not diminish you. In fact, it has the opposite effect. It shows you who you truly are. It shows you the depth of your strength. It forces you to confront your own power, your own ability to endure, and your ability to rise above. When you've been loyal to someone, you give them the best parts of yourself. You put your faith in them, sometimes without questioning, sometimes without hesitation, because you believe in the relationship. You believe that loyalty will be returned. You believe that they will stand by you, just as you have stood by them. But then they betray you. They turn their back on you. They lie. They deceive. And they leave you alone to pick up the pieces. In that moment, it feels like everything you've done for them has been for nothing. But let me tell you this. It was never for nothing. You gave them the best of you because that's who you are. You gave them your loyalty because you have a heart that is capable of deep love and trust. You gave them your strength because you believe in people. You gave them your time because you believed in their potential. And that, my friend, is a reflection of who you are, not of who they are. They may have betrayed your trust, but they can never take away the core of who you are. They may have hurt you, but they cannot destroy the essence of your being. And that essence is where your power lies. Now, I know the anger you feel right now. The sense of betrayal is a gnawing wound that won't let go. It stirs in your chest. It fills your thoughts, and it weighs on your soul. It's the feeling of being deceived, manipulated, and abandoned by someone you trusted. And that feeling is valid. It is right to be angry. It is right to feel hurt. But what you must realize is that this anger, this rage, this hurt is not your weakness. It is your strength. They wanted to break you. They wanted you to feel small. They wanted you to question your worth. But in doing so, they made one fatal mistake. They awakened a force in you that you did not know was there. When they betrayed you, they pushed you to the edge. They tried to break you. They thought you were weak. They thought that because you loved them, because you trusted them, you would simply crumble when they abandoned you. But they were wrong. They underestimated your resilience. They underestimated your ability to rise. And now, you are standing at the precipice of something far greater than you ever imagined. You are standing on the edge of your own power. And when you choose to embrace that power, when you choose to rise from the ashes of this betrayal, you will become unstoppable. Betrayal is not the end of your story. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of your transformation. It is the beginning of you stepping into your true power. You see, betrayal strips away the illusions. It removes the layers of falsehoods and deceit that cloud your judgment. It forces you to see the world and people for what they truly are. And that, my friend, is a gift. Because once you see the truth, once you understand that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend, not everyone who speaks kindly to you has good intentions, you are free. You are free to take control of your life. You are free to choose who you trust and who you do not. You are free to protect your heart and protect your energy. And that freedom is the key to your power. You are not a victim of their actions. You are the victor. The fact that you are still standing after all of this, the fact that you are still here, breathing, thinking, planning, and moving forward, proves that you are stronger than you realize, and you are only going to get stronger from here. The pain you are feeling right now, it will not last forever. The anger, the sadness, the confusion, they are temporary. They are the storm before the calm. And when the storm clears, when the dust settles, you will see the world with new eyes. You will see yourself with new eyes. You will understand the depth of your strength, the magnitude of your resilience, and the power that lies within you. Now is the time to rise. Now is the time to take everything they tried to take from you and use it as fuel. They wanted to tear you down, but they made a grave mistake. They didn't know that you are not like everyone else. You are not someone who will sit idly by and let others define you. You are not someone who will wallow in self-pity and let their actions dictate your future. No, you are a force to be reckoned with, and you will use this betrayal, this injustice, as the catalyst to propel yourself forward. They may have thought that they could crush you, but they didn't realize that your pain would only serve to make you stronger. You are not the person you were before the betrayal. You are someone new, someone stronger, someone more aware of their own worth. And now, the world will see what you are capable of. Now, the world will witness the power that was always there, waiting to be unleashed. They may have betrayed you, but you are the one who will emerge victorious. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to rise, to take back everything that was stolen from you, and to show the world that no one, no matter how much they try, can ever break you. The betrayal will become a distant memory, and you will look back one day, not with regret, but with pride. You will look back and see that the path they forced you to walk, though painful, led you to a place of unimaginable strength. And you will be grateful for it, because it was through that pain that you became who you were always meant to be. So rise. Rise above the betrayal. Rise above the lies. Rise above the hurt, because you are stronger than they could ever imagine. And when you do, they will regret ever betraying you, and you will stand unshaken, knowing that no one can ever take away your strength again. You are not defeated, you are just getting started. The journey you're about to embark on is not a simple one, and it will not be without its challenges. But know this, the moment of betrayal, the moment of pain, the moment they tore apart your heart, that was not your downfall. It was your awakening. It was the spark that will ignite the fire of your transformation. You are standing at the precipice of your most powerful self, and though it may seem like the world is crumbling around you, it is only preparing you to rise higher than you ever thought possible. What you need to understand right now is that betrayal is not a barrier, it is a gateway to the truest, most untamed version of yourself. They tried to destroy you. They tried to convince you that you were weak, that your loyalty was your weakness, that your love was your vulnerability, that you were nothing without them. But they were wrong. The truth, which you will discover soon enough, is that it was never about them. It was always about you. They thought they could break you by taking advantage of your good heart. They thought that by betraying you, by manipulating you, they could reduce you to a shadow of who you once were. They believed that your loyalty, your trust, and your commitment could be bent and twisted into something they could use against you. But they were gravely mistaken, because loyalty, when wielded by someone with the power to rise, is not a weakness. It is the fuel for the most incredible transformation. And that's what you're about to experience. You might feel like you've been robbed of your dignity, your peace, your security, and your trust. You may feel like your whole world has been flipped upside down, and the people you once cared about have turned their backs on you. The hurt you feel is real, and you have every right to feel the pain of that betrayal. But what you also need to understand is that your pain is not permanent. It is not a sentence that you will be forced to endure forever. No, this pain is temporary, and it is merely the cleansing fire that burns away the old you, preparing the ground for something new to emerge. That something new is the person you were always meant to become. The person who will rise from this betrayal with more strength, more resilience, and more power than anyone could ever expect. When you were loyal to them, you gave them your all. You gave them your trust, your heart, your commitment, your time, your effort, and your love. You gave them pieces of yourself that you thought would be cherished, pieces of yourself that you thought would be protected. But instead, they took those pieces and tossed them aside like trash. And in doing so, they made a terrible mistake, one that will haunt them for the rest of their lives. They underestimated you. They underestimated your strength. They underestimated your power to rise from the ashes of their betrayal. They thought you would crumble under the weight of their deceit. They thought they could break you, bend you, and twist you into something unrecognizable. They thought they could use your loyalty as a weapon against you, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. You are not the same person you were before their betrayal. They did not break you. They did not destroy you. In fact, they only revealed the truth. They revealed the untapped power that was always within you, but which had remained dormant for far too long. Your loyalty was never a weakness. It was your strength. But now, you have learned the true cost of giving that loyalty away. And now, you have the power to choose who is worthy of your trust and your loyalty. You have the power to decide who gets to walk alongside you in this life and who doesn't. You have the power to reclaim your strength, your dignity, and your self-respect. They betrayed you deliberately. But it's important to understand something fundamental about betrayal. It says more about the person who betrays you than it does about you. They are the ones who are weak. They are the ones who are afraid. They are the ones who are broken. Because betrayal is a desperate act, a sign of insecurity and fear. People who betray others are not strong. They are weak. They are not powerful. They are afraid. They are afraid that if they let you get too close, if they show you their true selves, you will see their flaws, their vulnerabilities, and their own weaknesses. They betray others because they cannot face their own truths. And in the end, they destroy themselves. But you are not weak. You are not afraid. You are not broken. You have faced the darkness, you have faced the lies, and you have faced the pain of betrayal, and you have survived. That alone makes you stronger than anyone who has ever betrayed you. They thought they could break you with their lies, their manipulation, and their selfishness. But they failed. They failed because you are made of something stronger. You are made of resilience. You are made of strength. And you are made of the will to rise again, no matter how hard the fall. Right now, you might be wondering why they did what they did, why they betrayed you despite everything you gave to them, why they turned their backs on you after you gave them your trust, your loyalty, your heart. The truth is that their betrayal was never about you. It was about them. It was about their fears, their insecurities, their weakness. They wanted something from you, something they couldn't get on their own. And when they took it from you, they left you broken and hurt, because that's all they knew how to do. They didn't know how to love, how to honor, or how to value someone who gave them so much. And because they couldn't recognize the beauty of your loyalty, they discarded it. But understand this, they are not the ones who have won. No, it is you who has won, because the betrayal you've experienced has brought you closer to the truth. It has shown you that you are the one who has the power to heal, the power to forgive, but only when it serves you, the power to rise above the lies and the manipulations, the power to take your heart back into your own hands and reclaim everything that was stolen from you, the power to never let anyone have that kind of control over you again. And now, you are at a crossroads. You can either let this betrayal define you as a victim, as someone who was wronged, someone who was taken advantage of, or you can let it fuel your rise. You can take the pain, the heartbreak, the anger, the sadness, and you can transform it into something magnificent. You can take the lessons from this betrayal and use them to make yourself stronger, sharper, more focused. You can let it drive you to become the person you were always meant to be, the person who knows their worth, who values their own strength, and who never allows anyone to take advantage of them again. I know that right now, it feels like everything is falling apart. You feel lost, confused, and uncertain. You feel like you have nothing left, but that is not the reality. That is the illusion that they want you to believe. The truth is that everything you've been through has been preparing you for this moment. You have been through the fire and now you are emerging stronger, more powerful, and more aware of your own worth than ever before. You have everything you need to rise, everything you need to succeed. You just have to make the choice to do it. And when you do rise, when you stand tall once more, the world will see you for who you truly are. They will see the strength, the power, and the resilience that you carry within you. They will see that you are not a victim of betrayal. You are a survivor. You are a warrior. You are someone who can take the worst that life has to offer and turn it into something beautiful. They will see that you are the one who holds the power now, and they will regret ever thinking they could break you. So stand tall, stand strong. You are not defeated. You are just getting started.